What's up guys, how you doing? If you haven't been to my channel before, my name is Flipscriber. The subscribe button is right down there if you're interested. Today, yes, today is an awesome day because we are finally unboxing my A7S III. We've been waiting a long time for this camera, a long time, and it's finally here. Is it as good as it was meant to be? Hell yes! Anyway, you know what? You've seen enough unboxings. Let's just... This is the Sony A7S III. It is a 4K, 422, 10-bit, 15-stop dynamic range little monster. Now, Sony listened and they delivered. They really did. I don't care about 8K. I don't care about 6K. My MacBook Pro does not care about 6K or 8K. It would probably die. This is basically Sony taking everything they learned about the Sony A7 III and 4K and perfecting it in this tiny little box. This is the filmmaker's wet dream. And we're going to talk about the good bits and a few little bad bits that I'm not too fond of. Spoiler alert, there are hardly any. So let's get into this right now. The lockable dial is just like the R. So you press in the button and you can turn it. So you're not going to turn it by mistake, which has happened to me before, and I was filming in something completely different when I was rushing and, you know, outgunning. So that is a fantastic addition to this camera. The body feels a lot more solid. It's tougher. You can feel that, you know, it just sits in your hand. It's good it's a little bit bigger because the A7 III was a tiny bit too small, especially for B-roll and those, you know, nice shots where you're moving around, getting hand shots, you know, getting handy. The port doors are fantastic. The fact that you can just open one port door and close it, open another one and close it is awesome. It's not like this flappy shit. Like, I mean, that was the most annoying thing in the world of the A7 III, R3 series cameras. It really annoyed me. So that's really good. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break off. You can really control what door you're opening. It's, you know, that's great. The next thing is the full HDMI port. I mean, come on, that's awesome. It hasn't got this tiny little thing that, you know, you're gonna snap off in a second. That is really awesome. Inside you do have the 3.5 headphone, and you also have USB, which you can use as a charger. So you can put in a power bank, a big one, and just keep this guy going on location all day. That is fantastic. And you also have a multi right there. So this is, you know, those, it's fantastic. I love it. So I love the fact that this has a dedicated record button right here, which is in reach of humans, like human beings. Because the last one back here, I was like, what? It just wasn't good. But right here, I mean, that's perfect. I really like it here. That's pretty awesome. The flip screen on this is obviously something that we've been asking for ages, and it is a game changer. You flip it around and you can basically vlog without any problems. The one problem with it is that when you flip it just a tiny bit, it flips upside down, which is really annoying. Hopefully they'll do a firmware update to fix that. But, you know, getting cool angles and stuff is just awesome. I'm always a little bit scared that this is just gonna rip off some way. But now I don't need a monitor up here, I don't need a mirror. This is just gonna sit here and I'm gonna be able to film really simply. The EC1 B1M is a new microphone from Sony, and it's pretty cool because if you stick it on this guy, you do not need a cable going in here because it's actually a digital microphone that goes through a digital signal right here in your hot shoe. And I'm sure more companies are gonna be coming out stuff like that, like Rode, for example. That's fantastic. You don't have that option here. You need a cable. That's a big plus. Let's talk about 4K. I don't have to upscale my 1080p footage anymore because this films in 120 frames per second in 4K. It has face detection, eye detection in 4K. That's awesome. That is awesome. I really missed that in here. Another thing that really gets my, you know, is that if I turn on my monitor right there, face detection stops. You don't have the problem with this. HDMI out, face detection on this guy, that sold it to me. That's just awesome. The new menu system. I got to love this old school menu system, and I know it like my eyes closed, and it's awesome. But this new menu system, it's colorful, it's pretty, it's really fast, especially using the touchscreen. By the way, the touchscreen is just awesome. It's really responsive, it works really well. It's a step forward. You can see it's a step forward. This is 2020. This is a little bit older, yeah, but this is, I'm in love with the menu system. It's really fast, it's really clear, and anyone can understand it now. So you slide it down, push it back, open it. That's a bit different from that. I'm not sure which one I prefer, but this has dual CF Express cards, which are pretty small, and the cool thing is that it's not only a dual CF Express card slot in here, but you can also put in your SD cards, also 2 of them. So it's kind of, you got the best of both worlds. That's really fantastic. The dual CF Express, it's a lot to take in, are the ones that you need for the 600 megabits per second footage. So in this guy right here, we have 5-axis image stabilization plus active mode, which kind of crops in 10%, but it almost looks like you have a gimbal. You can be holding it like this, and it's kind of keeping everything straight. That is also pretty cool, and it looks really, really awesome. It keeps everything just nice and steady. The 9.44 million dot EVF viewfinder thing in here is insane. It has never been so crisp and so clear. I really do enjoy using it. It's a big step up from all the other cameras I've used. So this thing in here, love it. Another thing that I really, really love in this camera, I just gotta say it, is the AF transition speed. You can have like 7 different levels, so you can make it really smooth or really fast. And you also have subject switching, and that's got like 5 levels. So for rack focusing, this looks really, really natural, and it almost looks like a human's doing it. So it's got that really nice cinematic quality. It doesn't look like jagged and digital, but you can like kind of like ramp in, ramp out. It's definitely a game changer for people who are shooting by themselves, like YouTubers. That is awesome. So to summarize, is it worth dropping $3,500 on this puppy right here? And the short answer is yes. I'm in love with this camera, and as a filmmaker, I really, really do dig it. All the improvements Sony have made are incredible. What they've basically done is just perfected 4K in this camera right here. So yeah, I would go out and get it. But if the question is, should you upgrade from the A7 III or the A7R III? That's a question that's quite difficult to answer, because you're gonna have to weigh out the options. You know, the A7R III is a fantastic camera. When it comes to hybrid, it shoots awesome photos. It's got 45 million megapixels. The A7 III, yeah, I'd probably upgrade, because the improvements, like I said, are very significant, and you get a lot out of this camera, though it does cost a lot of money. But if you think upgrading to this camera, because it's got a flip out screen that we've learned to live without, because it shoots 120 frames in 4K, you know, I shoot with the A7 III and I upscale, and it's really barely noticeable, because a lot of people, they don't watch my films in the cinema. If I look at my analytics, they're all watching it on a smartphone. So is that important? If you're upgrading, no, I wouldn't go for that just because of that. But like I said, if you haven't got a camera and you're looking for the best filmmaker's camera out there in such a small compact box, Sony A7S III is the way to go. It is incredible. It's completely shocked me in every single way it possibly can. It sees in the dark. I F in the dark. I'm just like, what? Seriously, you guys will be just, your minds blown. Anyway, if you guys have any questions about this camera, the settings, the menu, drop them in the comments below. I'll do all I can to help you out. If you like my film and it helped you, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. I think we've had like almost 2,000 subs in the last 2 weeks. That's just insane. Thank you to everybody who's been pressing that button. And yeah, I'm probably going to take this guy, GoPro 9, on a nice little trip in the next 2 weeks, and I'll show you what that looks like. You guys have a fantastic week, and I'm going to catch you soon.